Welcome back, everybody. This is Padrino Collects, back with another review. Today we're going to be looking at 1000 Toys Emile A-239. Of course, the fourth member of the Noble team from Halo Reach. Fantastic video game, excellent character. The campaign was incredible. And Emile here was definitely my favorite character of the whole team, so I had to pick him up. As far as the price point goes, definitely up there, as far as, the amount I've spent on figures and kind of just the average price that I spend for imports. But we can definitely take a look at the figure itself, kind of decide, whether or not it's actually worth paying this price. So yeah, happy to get into it. So of course, here's the figure himself. I actually went for the exclusive edition, and the main difference is between the normal edition and the exclusive is that the normal is going to have a matte gold paint on the helmet or the visor, whereas the exclusive here is going to have the quote-unquote chrome-plated visor. So as you can see, there's a bit of a shine, like a translucent plastic over the visor itself, which gives us a nice pop and just looks really clean. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the box here. I'm going to move Emile out of the way. So the box itself, pretty standard, very simplistic design. As you can see here, if I wanted to display this, I can flex on all my friends and family that I've got the exclusive edition. So again, the only difference is that you can see here, this is like a matte gold, and the exclusive is going to have like that translucent clear plastic over it to make it shine a little bit more. So yeah, the rest of the box is pretty simplistic, just random warnings and disclosures, etc., etc. And then on the inside of the box, of course, we're looking at the accessories. Again, very simplistic and minimalistic. You're only going to get 2 accessories minus the hands here. Just the pump action shotgun, I forget the actual name for it, and then the energy sword here. And then 5 sets of hands included the fist hands that he comes with. So the hands we have are the energy sword holding hands here. As you can see, they're kind of like in a claw-esque position there. And then we've got 2 trigger hands here, kind of like an open cuffing hand for gripping the bottom of the pump action shotgun, as well as some just like some open grip hands there. The energy shield itself looks pretty great. Translucent blue. It's got a little bit of that energy kind of pulsating down the end of the sword there, with a nice like frost paint here on the edges and on the tip there. Pause. And then of course the shotgun itself. Very nice detail here. Excuse me. A very nice detail here. I wish they would have included a this could actually move here and do that pump action, but unfortunately that's not the case. But it looks pretty good nonetheless. We've got a peg here that you can that you can actually just tab into the back of his armor there, which I'm happy to show you here shortly. But yeah, let's take a look at the figure itself. To start, I'm very impressed with how it looks. It's very a very detailed, very clean looking figure. It weighs really nice. There's some die cast here inside the frame that gives it a nice weight, and it's extremely quality. I mean, this stuff isn't gonna, nothing's gonna loosen up. You don't have any fear of that. You probably don't have that fear of him falling off the shelf, just because he's super sturdy. But yeah, he's a gorgeous looking figure, and we can kind of just look at the details really quick. Again, there's that helmet with the, that paint job he has on the front there. I always thought it gave him that really cool, like, phantom look. Let me just zoom out here a little bit. And you can see there's actually some sculpted in scratches on his helmet, too, which is really nice. This part of his helmet here actually rotates here. Very, very solid detail. Again, the paint job is very clean. Even on the back here, there's a little bit of like a candy paint gloss here, which looks nice. Nice details with the USNC. This danger tag here, I'm not sure what that's for. And then here on the back, you can see in the middle, There's a little tab here you can pull, and that's the peg hole where you can attach his shotgun. So just put that back for now. And then going on to the arms here, very nice paint job. Again, nothing's really sloppy at all. There's a little bit of like, damage here. Oh, it looks like the peg fell out, no problem. Just make sure that's in there, there we go. So yeah, very, very nice. Little bit of like, wear and tear damage, looks good. Very, very clean. Everything's like a nice matte paint. Nothing really sloppy. I've got some of these grenade shells here, which look good. Nice gold paint to them. A little bit of detail here under the chest armor. These are like a rubber material here on the chest. You can kind of lift that up and see more of that detail. Here on the shoulder armor, looks great as well. Nice red paint. Very clean. These edges are very clean. Nothing like leaking or I forget what the word is, or bleeding rather. Here's the kukri knife. Now, a major complaint for most people who have purchased this figure was that this knife or this blade doesn't come out of the sheath. I definitely agree, at the price point you're paying for this figure, this should at the very least be a minimum, right? It should be automatically included. Being that it's one of his, signature weapons that he uses in the campaign. He uses it to kill elites, and I think at the very end he even uses it. I don't know. I think it's a little bit ridiculous of them not to include that at this price tag. Very nice detail here with the shotgun shells on his forearm. I think that looks really dope. Again, the paint's really clean here. More of this candy paint gloss on his waistband. Nice little ammo pouch here on the side with the USNC logo. That nice olive green. A nice little detail here with this warning sign or warning sticker. USNC on the front of the knee pads. Looks great. And you can see, overall, just a very, very clean figure. Very clean paint job. Even on the bottom here in the feet, we've got these little, I don't even know what you would call those, but they look cool. And a nice little tread on the bottom as well. So yeah, overall, very, very nice detail, very well painted. I'll say as far as quality goes, just the feel, the paint, how it's structured. Just how it's built is very, very nice. I would say $200 worth of quality. Now, of course, where it falls short is that the accessory. You get this, and then the energy sword. That's where you're falling short here on that $200 price tag. But articulation as well kind of goes into that quality. So you can see here we've got a ball joint on the head. Can look up pretty dang far. Can look down pretty decent. There's also a joint here at the base of the neck as well. And then right here, actually, there's a little bit of a joint right here to allow for more posability. Let's see here. Then, of course, can look side to side a little bit. Not too much, but good enough. Here on the arms, we can do a full 360. Of course, it is essentially just on a ball joint here, but there's also a nice butterfly as well. So if you wanted to get him reaching across. Of course, does go up and down as well. You can see here, if you're a little bit more gentle with it, you can kind of, slide it up there so his arm can do more of a T pose. Bicep swivel as well. More or less, it's just on that peg. Then we've got a forearm swivel, double jointed elbow. Looks really nice. Well, rather, this part looks a little goofy here, but quite frankly, I would just take the articulation over how it looks, at least the majority of the time. Forearm swivel again. We've got the wrist peg, of course. That's just on a ball joint. These are very easy to take on and put back on. Take off and put back on, sorry. On the chest here, we do have, again, you can move this out of the way here so you can get a little bit more posability, but there is a joint here on the actual chest itself. You can see there. And then on the or rather, where's it at here? Let me see. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. It really just goes down about that far. There it is right there. You can see it goes a little bit further back. Yeah, right here is where that joint is. So it can, it can crunch pretty far forward. And he can go pretty far back as well, which is impressive. He does have, of course, a swivel here. It doesn't go all the way, I should mention. It looks as if maybe this armor back here will get in the way, so can't go a full 360, but it's pretty decent for what it is. On his waist here, on the belt, these grenade shells or grenade ammo here does move out of the way, and so that allows for more mobility with his legs here. So his legs can kick up pretty high, kick back pretty far. I've got a double jointed knee. That looks great. Doesn't actually go full calf to hamstring, but it does look pretty good. A nice split as well. You can actually kind of turn it out a little bit more. And then there is a thigh swivel here. I mentioned the double jointed knee, no calf or thigh swivel, or rather kind of just like the knee swivel. Ankle joint does go down pretty low, goes up pretty high. Very nice pivot here as well. This actual part on here on the armor does move up and down if you want to get a little bit of toe mobility. And again, yeah, this does have a nice toe joint. It's decent enough. So yeah, so the articulation, again, very, very solid. Nothing too stiff, nothing too loose. Overall, it feels like the quality, that $200 quality that you're paying for. For $200, you're pretty much just paying for this chrome and, of course, the figure itself. But for the exclusive, is what I mean, is that you're pretty much just paying for this chrome-plated visor, which looks great. But, I think they could definitely come down on the price tag. It might just be the quality of the materials that they're using to make these figures is what's making them so expensive. But, I got to say, just me personally as a fan, I love having it on my shelf. I think it's a fantastic looking figure. It's very quality. It looks really cool. It's got a lot of shelf presence. I don't know if I'd pay $200 again. Maybe I'm just not in a position to. But, again, I'm a big fan. I think if you are too, it's worth buying if you're able to find it at a decent price. And you probably could nowadays, being that it's probably been out for a while. And I don't know if it's sold out. I haven't looked. But, yeah, it's a very solid quality figure from 1000 Toys. And I'm always impressed with the quality that they have. And just to compare with the other 1000 Toys figure I have here, of course, we have the man himself, Master Chief. So these, of course, it's from the same exact company, and the quality here is mimicked by Emile here. Of course, being that they're both 1000 Toys, I imagine they kind of keep themselves to the same standard. So yeah, they're pretty much kind of the same as far as, weight goes. The height is relatively the same. And just move this out of the way here and get him standing up. Let me just move this for now. So yeah, they're relatively the same height. It looks like Emile maybe slightly, slightly, or ever so slightly taller than Chief there. So yeah, another cool thing I guess is if you do have one of these, of course you'll have some more weapons to equip them with. He was also just short of $200. I pre-ordered him directly from 1000 Toys as well. I guess if I wanted to, I could have him dual wield the shotguns. This one here is like a more modern one, or rather, they are both pretty modern. But this one here looks more like a semi-automatic. Honestly, I can't remember what game this shotgun was from. I just know for sure this was from Reach. This is just the assault rifle, but a more modernized version. But anyways, I digress. So yeah, they're about the same height, roughly, so they look good together. I think Chief should be a little bit taller. I guess just to do some other size comparisons. Here's a recent hobby I've gotten into. God knows I have way too many of them. Here's the Master Grade Barbatos Lupus. This is a model kit Gundam that I just recently started getting into. So he's significantly taller than Emile there. All right, I did want to compare a couple here, a couple of different action figures, besides the two that I've shown so far. So we've got Lin Ji-hun's Gypsy Danger. Zoom out a little bit. Well, I've got the tape measure on me here. I want to just get the size or the height of Emile. So he stands at just about 7 1/4, or maybe a little bit taller. So not true 1/12 scale, but yeah. So you can see, just a slight difference there. Next, I've got Killua from Hunter x Hunter. Get him to stand. This is SH Figure Arts, of course, and I've also got Gon. So these guys are much smaller, obviously being SH Figure Arts, and they're both kids. But we'll be doing a review on those two in the future. Then I've got Mezco Nightwing, true 1/12 scale here, right at about 6 inches, I believe. Pause. Just a little bit tall, like 6.5 inches. So, yeah. So very, very, kind of his own size or own scale when it comes to, his height. But, yeah, again, very, very solid figure. Overall, final thoughts here. The quality is great. The paint job is amazing. Very solid. Price tag's a little bit up there. If you're living comfortably and you can afford to purchase him, I'd say go for it. Absolutely. I think it's well worth the money if you've got it. I bet you, ultimately, if you're a fan and you're looking for a cheaper alternative, I'm sure there's some out there. I'm a huge fan. I like it a lot. I would just say be wary. Your accessories are a little bit limited, and there's only so much you can do with it. So, but I'm sure there's some kind of website or some kind of creator out there who's can make these weapons at a cheaper cost, so you can just buy like an accessory pack. But I think just at a $200 figure, that shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't have to outsource the accessories to enjoy your figure a bit more. So again, yeah, very solid figure. If you've got it, get it. If you like them, you're a fan of them, go for a cheaper alternative if you're a little bit on a budget. So but I do appreciate you guys taking some time to watch my review, listen to my thoughts about this figure. I'll be on the lookout for the next one. I'm still kind of deciding what I want to do, but I have an idea of where I want to go. But yeah, if anything else, just leave me a comment. Let me know what you want to see next. I appreciate you guys, and you have a blessed day. Take care.